Cool.
Hey guys, Devin here with Make Anything, and today I wanted to share with you my entries for a contest that was recently held by My Mini Factory. They wanted us to design glasses for legendary soccer player Ian Wright. So as a product designer, I decided I had to take on this challenge. I actually have very limited experience designing glasses or any type of wearables, but I thought it would be a good challenge and a great learning experience, so let me go ahead and share that with you. Here we have a 3D scan of Ian Wright that was provided to us by My Mini Factory. And as you can see, it's very detailed and it is true to scale, so it's a perfect reference for building these glasses around. Now this particular scan is really high resolution, so it would probably crash SolidWorks. So I took it into MeshMixer and reduced it into this before bringing it into SolidWorks. Now it's a little more manageable and I can build my glasses directly around Ian's head. So I'm just going to take you through the steps. I already finished these glasses, but I'll show you a little bit of what I did. So a lot of work got done in the very first sketch, where I drew out the basic shape of the entire frame. Now while it is a single action, it does take a lot of work to really finesse the curves and get everything just right. So I threw in some more fillets to kind of get everything more rounded to match the feel of the lenses themselves. So this is my rounder version of the glasses, and then I'll have another one that's a little more square. I put a chamfer on the front here, which will help everything print cleaner, and I threw in a little W graphic here because these are, in fact, custom glasses for Ian Wright, and 3D printing is all about customization, so why not throw in a little flair right there. Alright, moving further along, this was a very subtle thing I did. I'll have to hide Ian's head to actually show it, but I created a small diagonal cut into the back of the lens, which will help the glasses rest on his nose a little better. It's actually made exactly for Ian's nose as well, because I noticed where my model was overlapping with the 3D scan, and I was able to just shave it away so that it'll be a more comfortable fit. Next I added the indentations where the metal hinges will go, so I'm not actually going to print the hinges in this model, but real hinges are going to be added later. I sketched out the arms in a very similar manner with this arc in the back, and both parts are 4mm thick, so it's pretty lightweight, and here I put a variable fillet onto the arm, so it's 0.6mm all around except right above the ear where it's 3mm, and that'll make it more comfortable to actually be wearing. I have a similar cutout for the hinge on the arms as well. And lastly, I did a sweep along the inside of the rims to get this indentation all the way around, where glass lenses can be fitted to actually be held in these glasses. And to do that, I just converted the outline of the lens so that I have a curve for the sketch to follow. And this is the cross-section of the actual cutout, based on the dimensions that they provided us for making this work. You can see there's a slight angle here, and that's just so this can print without any supports. A big goal of mine with this challenge was to avoid support material so that these glasses are nice and smooth all over and they're actually very comfortable to wear instead of having that rough surface you get when you're using support material. And that's why this is actually a flat design, so I can build it flat on the build plate, and then I'll actually curve it after the fact using a heat gun. Although I did also create a model with the curved lenses in SolidWorks, just so that I could visualize what it'll look like and how much of a curve I want for this to really be a perfect fit for Ian. Maybe let's not go with pink for the lenses, although who knows? It's 3D printing, so you can choose whatever colors you want. It's pretty fun actually to just quickly swap through different colors and see how they'll look. But in this case, I thought black and white is nice, it's classy, and it's elegant. A good fit for Ian Wright. So that was the first pair I designed, and then I made this other pair that has a little bit more of a square feature, and I also wanted to try out some interesting treatments of the front of the lens that would be more difficult to achieve without 3D printing. So as you can see, the nose here isn't quite a half circle like it was on the other glasses, because I want it to match the shape of the frames. And now here is my favorite part. This is a really fun effect I like to do, where I just offset the entire outline of these glasses, and then I did an extrude cut, but I used a 45-degree draft so that all the lines come to a point. And it looks super cool, and because it's a 45-degree angle, it'll print with no problems. The arms of these glasses are essentially the same as the last model. I just made them a little thinner up front to better match these frames. So here's a little rendering I created of what the end result should look like. Here I am printing out the arms, and as you can see, my printer made very quick work of it. These are thin, they're printed flat, so they print really quickly and neatly. I made two versions of this particular style, one with a black backing and the other with a red backing, and the front is white on both of them. So I actually did a filament switch after printing, I think, 0.6 millimeters or so. And here I'm using matte HT PLA, which is a heat-treated PLA that has a nice matte finish. It is a little more stringy than your standard PLA, but I really love it. Here are my other frames. You can see they peeled off the build plate just a little bit, but since I'm bending the frames anyways, it's not really affecting the design. So speaking of getting that bend in the frames, what I did was get this thin sheet of aluminum from a hobby store, and I ran it across the edge of my workbench to create the curve that I want for my glasses. Then all I've got to do is center the frames on top of that curve and give it a quick run over with the heat gun on low temperature. This is actually really fun to do, and because PLA gets soft at such a low temperature, you can probably also do this with a hairdryer or just by soaking it in warm water for a while. Here are the frames after I let them cool down for a minute, and as you can see, they hold that curve really well. So I went ahead and did that with my other frames too. Interestingly enough, when I was heating up these red ones, the edges kind of tapered up like this, and I really like how it turned out. I did the same thing with the arms of the glasses, although since they're a little thinner, it might take some hand manipulation to get them the shape you want. As I mentioned, these are designed to use real metal hinges, but for the sake of prototyping, I just used my 3DCimo Mini to weld the parts together. You could use glue, but using PLA with a 3D pen will create a really good bond, and it also gives you a little more versatility. For example, the arms weren't perfectly even, so I was able to just heat them up with the gun again and bend it down into place, so that everything is exactly how it should be. All that's left is to try them on.
Not bad. I mean, I personally wouldn't wear white glasses because I'm white enough, but these are designed for Ian Wright. He has a slightly darker complexion, so I think these glasses would look really good on him. I think they fit pretty well and they look good, so I'd call these both successful. Alright, that's it for this one, guys. It's a shame I don't actually wear glasses anymore because I would have had a lot of fun making all kinds of prescription glasses for myself. But as you can see, these look really great. They look like a finished product. If you put some live hinges on here and got some lenses made for it, these could totally be everyday glasses. Another example of an end-use product you can make with 3D printing. Alright guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, don't forget to stay inspired.